Be over. That's there's only like 6 people here. Let's just all just level out and be kind of on the same plane here. Um, should I have started it like? Do story time. We all pretty much know each other. So actually, I do not recognize face as an introduction. Hey, I'm Levi. You are? Conrad. Nice to meet you. I think we did this earlier. And Blake, what's up, my man? Brother, you around? Jordan, man, the show, Boz, except last night. Let's hear it up for Boz. Well, also not performing the show, but let's make some noise for all the comedians in the house, in the audience, and going to support. Yeah. This is the Wheatley Weekly Show. We get super stoned here and tell you guys some jokes. Nice and laid back. Really different than telling jokes to people who have been drinking, you know? Because they're often more competitive. And if you're doing a club where everybody's in the dark and they're drinking, and you're the only one that's under like bright lights, like in a proper club, they get kind of like all as one. When you divide them, like this side of the room, let's hear it. They're all woo! And you act like that ain't shit. So you ask this side, let's hear it, top them, and then they go crazy. Yeah, that doesn't work at a paper lounge. You can't do that. Because you cut them in half, and they're like, let's hear it on this side. And they're like, oh, they start looking at each other like, are you on my side? Where does it stop? Right at him. I think it's all those. Okay, ready? Woo! Wow, that was sad. And you go, all right, let's hear it on this side. They're like, bro, why are you dividing us? Like, this is some bullshit. I like that guy over there. I got no fun with him. And what's great about weed and comedy, it goes so well, is that weed really improves your ingenuity, your creativity. You know, you think of shit that you just wouldn't have if you weren't stoned as fuck. Any contributions from the crowd? Maybe think of something that's particularly like you never thought of until you're baked. Just great ideas. The rain stick. You think a person who was stoned, right? It's like, yo, if I take this cactus and I push each fucking needle in, and I pour out my rice, wall. Fucking it. Best crowd. That's a lot of times what it's like to tell jokes to stoned people. Like, oh, so you do that weed room, right? You tell jokes to all the people who are high as fuck. How's that go? Like, honestly, they're probably the nicest people to tell jokes to. How many times I've seen stoners be like, all right, pull up a joint, you know, so I can grab it up like this. You're looking for a lighter. Buddy right here's already got one sparked for you. You're like, fuck, hold on, you know? Boom. Just the nicest people ever. Right? It's just, I don't know, it's fucking cool rooms, cool vibe. So glad Niagara Falls has one, you know? And for all of that, like, these shows have just been a little local scene. Are we getting stoned, recognizing it? There's the best for stopping by. Yeah, right? Truth. Stopping by for a toke, it's really difficult when your job is on, you know, it's en route. Like, they're on the same street, house, paper lounge, work. You walk by every day like, I really go to work sober. Sober's for drinking. I'm not drunk. I really go to work clear-headed. One dab won't be too much, right? Just stop for one, right? It'll be all right. I'll cruise off of that. By the time I walk there, get to work, get changed, get on the floor, I'll be all right. Not always the case. That's how you get bad service, people. I would smoke weed and I was a server. I stopped smoking weed and my section got bigger by 2 tables. Like I think you can do this again. You're like, oh yeah, awesome, cool. I don't know. Anybody in the service industry or freaking service? Yeah, that's something else. The rest of you what are in trades, you're building houses, saving people, you're students. I'm not really sure which one you moved to now, so this we've lost progress. So I just said trades because I knew you were got a job that you got to get high and go to, or a job that you like you're not going to if you're not high. You're like, I'm not showing up sober, man. That'll be the worst. That'll be the fucking worst. I'm gonna hate my life if I show up to my job sober. They work at Jimmy's. I'm working at McDonald's now. That's pretty fucking cool. You know, it's pretty cool because now I have a platinum card. I don't have any combo on the menus around $3. That's dangerous, you know? Damn, it's like 50% off Mickey D's. Like $3.50, there's a combo. I'm like, alright, well, I guess I don't have to grocery shop anymore. I'm pretty sure that just solves that whole, like, issue. I'm moving into the playhouse. We're just gonna vape in it at night, so it's cleared out in the morning for the kids to come in. How amazing would that be? Get some of the grease from the fryer, it's cool down, put it on the slides. Woo! Own this shit. Anyway, I'm just excited to be working at drive-thru again. Drive-thru is fun while you're really high. Because you just have patience. You know, that's what it is. That's what it is. When you're stoned, you have more patience. That's true. That part is true. That's what I love about stoners. It's like even when you're telling jokes to them, they'll laugh and like, it's a funny joke. Then afterwards they're like, how much of that joke is true? And you're like, no, bro, it's a joke. Like, you're just like, I want to know what the truth is. When you're high, you can only see the truth. That's why the government doesn't like you getting stoned. Because you can see all through that bullshit. When you're on mushrooms, you're like, bro, I understand. I get it all. I just understand it all, man. I know why I'm here now. I also understand a spiral. I get why it works and where it comes from, man. This is the ever-eternal going away. It is the ever-eternal coming. I'm like, yo, you're freaking me out, bro. Saying profound shit. Working the drive-thru's fun because it's kind of like having a job that has a microphone on it still, so you get to still interact with people without having a face. And also have like the product of, demonstration of control. Like you have to come through me in order to get what you want. You're high as shit, especially with just smoking weed. You can take orders and it's no problem because when people are really picky, like I get a 41 pack of Timbits. Like, I guess. I mean, we do 40s and I could throw in an extra. Why not? You know what I mean? You had to say 41, you fucking bitch. Sure, I get it. But you don't respond like that. You're like, 41, 42, whatever. It's good. I get it. Yeah, could you cut them in half and put butter on one side and mayonnaise on the other with a little jam in the middle, like each individual sandwich, and then wrap them up in wax cheese? I'm like, whoa, bro. Like, if you're sober, you're like, I don't have time for that. If you're stoned, you're like, this sounds amazing. Keep going. Wow, this is so good. Right? Like, you're like, yes, this is good. You can't be the person going to go make that. The guy that now has to put that order together needs to be high on something else entirely than marijuana. Because if you're stoned, smoking pot, and put these little sandwiches together, you'd be eating them. The one for me, one for you. The routine process doesn't work very well. Well, Quinn, nice to have more people into the lounge. Find yourself a nice, comfortable seat, and get elevated like the rest of us. Fan, man. By the way, comics, this big clock to the left is not referencing any time that you've done on stage. It is always pointing at 4:20. I can't how many times you're like, how much time have I done? 4:20, good. Wait, what? Oh, of course. Why would I expect anything less? One straight ahead there. So yeah. Whoa, that just set the mood. Just got intimate in here. Right. Alright, you know what? I think we're about to get fired up pretty soon. As more people get seated, like I said, Munchie's Concession, this is by far the coolest apartment that I ever get high in. Like, it has a small little convenience store right there. Like, look at this. Look at that. Just recently had suggestions from one of our regulars saying, why don't you have big bags of chips? How does the audience feel about that? You're like, if that needs to happen, just taking a poll, does it make a difference? Is it? Yeah, you used to have a chip wrap. Okay, about 40%. It's gonna come. Wait, Save, how you doing over there? Absolutely ripped on stage. Just trying to get a little show rolling here. We got a fucking bunch of funny guys from out of town who are down in the local lounge here at the Vapor Trail. First timers, or have you been here before? First time, awesome. You landed on a good night. I'm your host, Levi, man. I was just getting that guy fired up. Pretty much all trailblazers here, which means, we memberships, or they come here on a regular basis. People who come to the trails are trailblazers. First time to the show, welcome in and settle in. This is Mike. Matthew, can we give it up for House right before we give it up for the show? There's also the first act I'm bringing up here right now. First time to the lounge, and I love seeing a new act. And it's the first time I'm going to join with you guys, so I'm going to settle in and enjoy Jordan Scherer, everybody. Make some noise for him. Jordan, you're better.
Levi Mann, everybody, give it up for him. How you guys doing? Everybody having fun?
Yeah.
All right, this is a fucking great lounge. This is probably the coolest weed lounge I've ever been to. It's like you can come here and smoke weed, but it also feels like your grandpa's living room at the same time. So it's amazing. We were all the comics were sitting in the back there. We were talking about Tinder. Anybody on Tinder? But I think we matched, so I know you're on Tinder. Come on, people are on Tinder here. Nobody wants to admit it. Do you have any success on the Tinder? That's the best. No, I have not. Thank you for pointing it out to everybody in this room. Which is why I didn't admit that I was on Tinder, you asshole. Don't worry, I did not have success on Tinder or online dating. I tried online dating on a website once, and you're shaking your head way too aggressively. Like, hell yeah, you tried that. Didn't have success. Yeah, I tried. I think it was OkCupid or something like that. And I think I have a contact high. I think is what's going on here. I tried OkCupid. That's where we're at. And I created a profile, and then within 20 minutes, I got a message, and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm a god amongst these people. This is amazing." And then I clicked on it, and it was a fucking guy named John. He's like, "Hey, bud, what's up?" I was like, "Fuck, John, you got my hopes up, man. I don't think you understand this website works." He's like, "No, I do. I just really want to blow a man." Which is fine. It's 2016. My problem is that my profile says 23-year-old straight male, which means he saw that and then saw my picture and thought, I can convince this guy. Reese's Pieces and a good argument. I'll be blowing this frumpy fuck by midnight. To be fair, my profile picture is just me like. So, is that. I don't know. And the odd thing is like trying to, like going from Tinder or online dating, trying to go back into like just old school meeting people. Like that's weird for me. Like trying to talk to somebody in person now just seems that much more uncomfortable. Like I went to a coffee shop recently, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I saw a cute girl there. We're kind of talking. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. So I asked her out, and I don't want to brag or anything because she said no, and that's not actually how bragging works. Not a good move for me to brag right there. She, this is actually a true story. She was like, actually, I'm becoming a nun. She's like, yeah, I've used that. I've used that for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I thought it was a really good excuse at first, and then she went into it, and it turns out she actually was becoming a nun. Like, she told me the school she was going to and shit, which I think hurt even more, because now even God is cock-blocking me, and I don't need that. God and that. I feel like I'm just going to be hitting on a girl in a bar, and I'll be like, you want to get out of here? And she'll be like, I don't know, that burning bush over there just told me that you have herpes, so no, that's not going to happen tonight. I sat down with her and talked to her for a little bit, like 45 minutes. We just had coffee and talked. And at one point, I was like, what's being a nun like? And she just started listing out things that she can't do. She's like, we can't drink, we don't have sex, we wear baggy clothes to cover our bodies. I was like, holy shit. I think I might be a nun too. This is fucking crazy. Serious? Makes so much sense. feel so at home right now. This place is awesome. I used to read a lot of advice online about how to talk to girls. Like I would go on these like pickup artist blogs. It just feels bad to admit that, but it's true. And basically, at the end of it, it all just says the same shit. It's like, just be yourself. Just don't be desperate and don't be creepy. Which is hard for me because those are like my best qualities, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to give those up, I guess, and try to navigate the dating world. Doesn't seem good. Also read one that was like, always leave the girl wanting more. That's all you have to do, just leave her wanting more, which is perfect because I'm a premature ejaculator, so that just works out great for me. It's good advice. Man, why is there so much money on the wall? He's taken off. Are you TV Cooper? Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm feeling pretty hot. When you do stand up, a lot of times, like, people will get offended at jokes that you say. It's like we live in a world where a lot of people get offended now, pretty easily, I feel like. And I don't know, I just feel like it's almost cooler to be a victim than a hero now. What I mean by that is, like, people like Helen Keller. She was a victim, but she never let society define her as a victim. I think that's admirable. Like, to me, she is like a hero. She was blind, she was deaf, she was a women's rights activist. She didn't let words hurt her. She couldn't fucking hear them, but she still didn't let them hurt her. I guess it's weird, like the whole idea of like words hurting or words being so bad is weird to me because when I was growing up, my parents always told me that like words don't hurt. That was like a big philosophy that they instilled in me. They always said to me like, this one thing they always said to me, they're like, Jordan, sticks and stones will break your bones, but you're still a fat tit pussy. I was like, all right. My birthday, so that was uncalled for. All right, we'll just go with that. And I think I'm justified in it, in like my weird theory of it being cooler to be a victim now than a hero, because even hot people want to be victims now. Like hot people are jumping on that train, like which I just find ridiculous. Like, oh really? Did a group of construction workers call you beautiful? Oh, poor you. That's so sad. I got mistaken for a lesbian and then beaten up in a hate crime, but for you, that's so terrible. I can't believe that. Somebody complimented you. What a travesty. I got punched so hard in the side of the head I can't taste the flavor of raspberry anymore, but somebody called you beautiful? How sad for you. I got into an argument with a college kid the other day, and he said that words hurt more than actions, which is a pretty pompous thing to say. Words hurt more than actions? Really? If words hurt more than actions, how about you step into a ring armed with nothing but a dictionary against Mike Tyson? We'll see who's more hurt at the end of it. To be fair to him, I don't think Mike's going to understand any of his insults. So that's a little uncomfortable. I just think it's a pompous thing to say. Words hurt more than actions. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true. I think, like, try saying that to an amputee. Words hurt. They'll be like, no fucking lawnmowers hurt, all right? I would give you the finger, but I don't have arms. So I did well when I brought it to a sad place. That's what happened. I'm trying to declutter my life. Like, I'm trying to get rid of a lot of, like, just useless shit that I have around in my room and stuff that I just don't need. So, the other day, I was, like, contemplating throwing out this trophy that I have. And it's a second-place wrestling trophy. Yeah, thank you. It's pretty fascinating. I was like, I don't know. I feel some weird sentimental attachment to it. Like, I was, like, wondering, like, am I going to look back on this when I'm older and be like, fuck, I wish I still had that trophy, you know? So I went to my brother and I was like, hey, man, do you think I should throw this trophy out? And he was like, yeah, if you are like 50 years old and you need to look back on a second place wrestling trophy to be happy, you're the saddest fucking person I've ever met in my life. Yeah. So I kept the trophy, and so I had that. And then kind of like, I hadn't thought about this trophy in so long. I really had never even, it was just sat in my closet forever. And then when I asked him about that, it all came pouring back to how I won the trophy in the first place. This is the trophy that I'm hanging on to. I went to this wrestling tournament, and like my family came out to watch me and stuff. And I didn't wrestle for passion. I didn't even want to wrestle. My parents were just worried I had like early onset diabetes, so like he needs physical activity. So they signed me up for wrestling. So I went to this tournament, and I was even fatter than I am now. I was like such a chubby kid that they just didn't have a weight limit for me. So it was me versus one other guy because we were just too heavy. So they cut off the weight limits, and they're like, anybody that just passes this just can go. And it was just me and this other guy. So I won a second place wrestling trophy out of 2 people. Like, I'm going to hold on to this forever. I blocked that moment out of my mind because it's fucking traumatic. That I had a green wrestling singlet on. I looked like Slimer from Ghostbusters. It was horrifying. And this guy's just fucking, he looks like Andre the Giant. Because there's no weight limit. He's like 40, I think. He looked like he lived in a heavily wooded area, just like lifted logs, like strongman training and shit. He was way stronger than me. So as soon as we, and I wasn't passionate about wrestling. So as soon as we stepped into the ring, he just picked me up. I didn't even fucking know you could do that. He just picked me up like I'm Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. I'm like, put me down. I want to die here. He fucking put me down. He definitely put me down and then pinned me. And that's the story of how I got a second place wrestling trophy. Thank you. Let's all stand up for this. Thank you. I don't want a standing ovation. I don't need it. Okay, seriously, take that. Some people aren't even clapping.
Jordan Scherer, everybody. Make some noise for him. Oh, God. Oh, good. Love these Thursdays. We do every week. And I think we're just going to keep show rolling. That was fucking fantastic. Green light coming night is hilarious. We're all nice and close together except for this guy. You recognize him? You familiar? Anybody? Right? Don't look at me. I don't know. All right. Worst pun ever. Okay, stoners. Never mind. That's what I was saying. I didn't know the joke. Oh, you guys go. All right, fired up still. Let me make a noise for next act up on the show for this Thursday. There's Mr. Phil Cow, everybody.
Hello. Hello, hello. How we doing?
Hello.
From the gnomes in the corner. Yeah, Jordan, that was good. Was he talking about, he was talking about being a lesbian, or being mistaken for a lesbian or something like that. How about Manny Pacquiao? You guys see that? Just got dropped by Nike for just hating on gays, or gay marriage in particular. I don't know, that one hurts, man. As a Filipino, right away I was thinking, okay, now I gotta shave my mustache. Anyways. Anyone here been to the Deep South? Yeah, like Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia. No? I've been there. Okay? Let's get one thing out of the way here. There's no Asians there. Okay? No Asians. I was at a bar, right? And in the bathroom of this bar, these dudes approached me from behind. Not that kind of bar, right? And, one of them says to me, "Hey man, are you Chinese or Japanese?" me and my friends are dying to know. Now, let's go down the list. I'm Asian at a urinal in the deep south. Dear God, all I want to do is take a piss, right? And I didn't really know what to say. All I said was, actually, fellas, I'm Filipino. Guy says, right. So is that like Chinese or Japanese? Long story short, I'm Chinese in Atlanta. Uh, but you you hear about Southern hospitality, right? And it's a real thing. Southern hospitality is a real thing, okay? Because they bought me a beer. We played darts. The guy was like, "Nice shot, Ching Chong. I told you fellas, if I had a Chinaman on my team, I'd still win." Oh, fuck. I wanted to rework that whole bit, right, with Foghorn Leghorn. You guys remember that character from Looney Tunes, Big Rooster, right? I say, what intonations is a Filipino? Not even a real thing. I say. The first time I ever encountered racism, because as an Asian kid growing up in the 80s, you encountered racism, right? And the first racist jab ever thrown at me, so I'm walking down the street, this kid pushes me from behind, he's like, "Why don't you watch where you're going, you little wahoo?" You guys know what a wahoo is? Yeah, I just dumbfounded, I didn't know what a wahoo is. So years later, when I thought about that traumatic instance, I'm gonna look up what the fuck a wahoo is. It's a fish. I don't know if that kid knew what that was, but it's a fish. It's a giant fish. It's called a kingfish, right? Anyway, I thought that was interesting information. Not really a joke. Oh boy, any of you guys ever tried out an escape room? This new phenomenon that's going on, something that white people love. It's not just I was in there. So I got invited out to an escape room, right? And for those of you who don't know what it is, okay, it's basically you're trapped in a room, right, with a group of people, and you have to use like elements of the room to solve puzzles and clues within a timely manner to escape the room, right? Anyways, now I think I look like a smart guy, right? I mean, I got a good disguise. I'm Asian. I wear glasses, right? People think I know math. But I'll be honest, man. Never have I felt like such a useless kid. Okay, just some like castaway third nipple just whistle farting off some old lady's armpit. Useless, right? If you ever want to feel like a useless tit, just trap yourself in a room with smart people and puzzles to solve. Okay? Thank God one of the puzzles was an actual jigsaw puzzle with like kittens and a ball of yarn on it. It's pushing people out of the way. I got this. You guys go figure out Pythagorean theorem. I'll figure out the fucking jigsaw puzzle. If anyone ever asks you to be a part of an escape room, ask what the hell an escape room is. The only question I had was, will there be any ladies at this escape party? No, Phil, it's not a party. It's, relax, Brad, I got this. We didn't escape in a timely manner. We all died. I'm pretty sure I got everyone killed. This would be an interesting escape room. Yeah. This would be a fun escape room. We'd all die. Like, we just stay here and get high. We'd all die. We would all die in this escape room. Oh shit. I was thinking back to this argument that I was just kind of like peripherally a part of back in 2001. These guys, I was working at this factory, and in the cafeteria, these guys were arguing about where weed comes from, like what it grows on, right? One guy thought it was a tree, the other guy thought it was a bush. Does anyone know if weed grows on a bush or a tree? Well, exactly, right? It's a self-sowing annual flower plant, right? None of these guys knew this shit back in 2001. In instances like this, you wish we had fucking Google, right? Like, in the palm of your hand, right? And I was just remembering this story, this argument. I was like, fuck, I wish I had a time machine in my smartphone in hand, right? Because I remember, like, so let me paint the picture. We were in the cafeteria, and my Jamaican buddy at the time, he was talking about in Jamaica. I was like, oh man, the weed, it grows on trees as high as the eye can see. And then this dude, Steven, just walks in, you fucking idiots. Weed grows on bushes, you fucking apwits, right? And then it's just like, you wish at the time we could have had Google, right? But instead, all we had were our opinions and arguments and fucking feelings to hurt, So I thought, fuck, if I had a time machine and Google, I could have gone in there and be like, you're both wrong, you dum-dums. It's a self-sowing annual flowering plant. And it just would have been like, jaws dropped, like, what? Right? And then I could just walk off, biting into an apple, fucking read a book, you dickheads. Right? And I walk around the corner, and then the jaws are still dropping, and they'd have questions like, how did you know this shit? And they'd run after me, but I'd be gone through my time portal, and the only fucking trace of me would be my half-eaten apple just rolling down the hallway. Alright, that's my time, guys. You guys are great.
Mr. Phil Cal, everybody. I remember bringing up something, the time machine, and I got distracted by the time machine, and then it just started wandering, and it was gone. You know, you're gonna undo what you just did to remember where your train of thought was in the first place when you walk into the kitchen, like, okay, hold on, I'll take it again. No, I have no fucking clue what I'm eating for. Walk away, come back to it. A knife, that's what it is. Fuck. It's kind of trippy being able to remember shit sometimes. I don't know if you guys have that short-term memory or if you've been smoking weed for that long. But I've met people 7 times, and apparently that's offensive. After you introduce yourself for the 7th time, they're like, dude, we've met. You know? Oh, okay, cool. All right. You're a friend. World around you. But either way, it depends. All I'm trying to say is it's been a blast when you were smoking weed in elementary school. You know, that's what I was trying to get at. Nice. Even better. Even better. Yeah. All the above. You guys are the best. Okay, we're gonna keep the show rolling. Just dim the lights and settle in. Get your soda. We're gonna bring up the next comic. Ready for you guys right now. Is that all right with you guys? That's cool. All right, make some noise for him. Mr. David Getachew. It's all you, everybody.
I'm gonna have to turn the lights back up on black. You need to see me do this. Generally. So, first of all, I love this place. I feel like this should become like a Starbucks sort of scenario. Yeah, I don't have any money to invest, but for sure I would go to them. I can at least offer that much. It's hard up there for a minute. But the first time I got stoned, one of the first times I got stoned, I was with my buddy, and you get stoned, you're 16, what do? You go to the mall. You don't know where the fuck else to go, right? And we're in there, and we're getting Taco Bell, because Taco Bell is the meal of choice for stoners, at least at that time. Oh, yeah, no, still? All right, just making sure. So we're in Taco Bell, and we're not in Taco Bell. It's like a big food court area, so it's kind of that open sort of bullshit. And like when you're stoned for like one of the first times, you're like panicking, you're freaking out, you're like a little paranoid, you're like, they know I'm stoned, right? And I'm saying this in my head, and my buddy's ordering and stuff, and then he turns to me and he's like, they know we're stoned! And I just turned to him in that moment, I'm like, dude, if you didn't say anything, they would have no fucking idea we're stoned. Now we have to go. Get the tacos, though. We're not leaving those behind, goddamn. I work at the courthouse. Don't worry, I have no ties to the police. In fact, I don't like them at all. But they at the courthouse, you have to work with cops occasionally, right? They protect the building, or so they say. They get paid a lot of money to just walk around and get fatter. I was one day. This one of the cops has he had this new vest. And he's like, Dave, you got to see this new vest. It has the taser right in the stomach. He's like, I just want to show you. He's like, I'm gonna show you my taser too. And it's got a laser, right? And I'll put the laser right on the photocopier there. He's like, what do you think of that? And I was just like, oh, I just want photocopies. Could I not? Could you just not tase me for this? What was nice about it though was that I was like, well, look, I'm in Canada, and Canada's so good. At worst, I would have got tased. You know what I mean? Because as a black guy working in a courthouse, you're already taking a chance. I walk in there, and they're like, oh, you look like the suspect. And I'm like, you're right, I do look like the suspect. Sucks. It happens, don't lie. Are you half?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, because you're like me, you're like a hot yellow almost. I'm a little darker than you, I think. What is your background?
Irish Jamaican.
Irish Jamaican. Oh, that's a good mix. So you're able to drink and get stoned really well. These guys are like your buddy here has no idea what's going on. He's just like, I see colors and I love the earth. That's what What? That's not a bad thing to think. I see colors and love people. It's cool.
Another trick.
You can't even make words. Don't fight this. It's all right. That's cool. All right. But so, does that make you sort of the keeper of people? Are you giving rides home later and stuff?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, so you have the background to handle a lot of weed and a lot of booze. So what is a fucked up night for you then?
Guess everything else.
Oh, all right. Jesus. No, I can't. Weed and booze is as far as I go. I'm of Ethiopian descent, not by choice, but by blood. And when I was 13, my mom was like, she's like, Dave, we're gonna go to Ethiopia. Aren't you excited to go to Ethiopia? I'm like, no. I grew up in Canada. The only thing I'd ever seen of Ethiopians were those commercials with the kids, the flies on their face, and I could adopt one for my allowance. And I was like, Mom, I learned to get flies on my face in grade 1. It's like, why would I want to go there? And she turns to me, honey, you know they glue the flies on those kids' faces. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go then. So off to Ethiopia we went, which Ethiopia, beautiful place. It's weird because you go to Ethiopia kind of here, I'm not going to lie, I expected mud huts and horribleness. Why wouldn't I? I'd only seen TV, right? No, but they have beautiful cities. It smells like shit, whatever, but you get used to it. It's fine. There are horses in the street, which was cool, except they weren't tamed horses, so you were just like, please don't stop me, you giant monster. But no, it was. But so we go and my family there has this big house. It's this big, beautiful house, and they have a giant stone fence, and on top of that they have broken glass. And I was like, why would you do that? And then I got robbed. That's why they do that, right? And it was on the worst day too, because I learned that day that the translation of my actual Ethiopian name, Dawit Getachew, that is my name, it means king boss. Which is the best name ever, right? Why didn't they just name me King Boss? I would have walked in tonight, kicked open the door, and be like, I'm here to smoke all the weed. My name is King Boss. And I want to hang out with that guy. Who doesn't want to? I don't have King Boss confidence. I have, middle management confidence. Except I hope I'm better at fucking with those guys. I feel like they're bad fuckers. No offense to middle management of the room, but that's a thing. But so the day I got robbed, I learned that my name was King Boss. And King Boss was out in the streets because that's where he lives. He chills with people, and he's out there and he's like, I want suckers. 13-year-old King Boss needs a sucker right now. So I go out there, I grab my suckers, and apparently they just heard the change ring in my pocket. So 3 of them run up on me, and they start shaking me. And they're like, "Santim, santim." And I'm like, I don't know what that means because I don't speak the language. I grew up in Canada. And they're like, "Money, money. Give me the money." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I give them the money, and they kind of like leave me alone. But I'm 13, and I just got mugged. So of course I'm crying like a little bitch. just what you do, right? And I'm running to the gate, and I'm like knocking on the door, and I'm crying. And my cousin comes up to me, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "King Boss just got robbed." He turns over and he's like, "King Boss is a little bitch." Horrible times, guys. No, I'm just kidding. It makes you a man though after a while, right? Like that actually I learned MMA as a result. Like that UFC stuff, if you don't know. I'm assuming George Carlin back there doesn't really know too much about it. But that's a compliment. I like George Carlin, you seem cool. But I learned it because of that moment. I got robbed, and I'm like, the next time I go back, I want to be able to kick their asses, right? And then it's weird, like anything in life, if you're good at something and you like it a lot, you get high before you do it. All right? And I got fucking stoned before I was doing jiu-jitsu, like super stoned. And after a while, like it's good at first because you have like that difference. It's like your body is ready to go. It's like when you fucking you're stoned, you're like, this is gonna be amazing. Except people are trying to strangle you, so you're like, this might be terrible. And then one day I was like, because I got used to it. You get like comfortable with your level of like, at first you only need like a couple puffs, and after a while you like need a lot of weed to get stoned, right? Yeah, well the same thing happens when you're doing that, like while trying to choke people. And I decided I would move on to edibles. Not a great idea, all right? Because I had panic attacks before, but like an edible panic attack is like the room is closing in on me, and I'm pretty sure I have no way out of this. But the beautiful thing, like I learned to get over my panic attacks through being super stoned and having people assault me, basically. They would come at me, and I was in the middle of the panic attack, I realized, like, this will pass. But until that time, you gotta make sure this motherfucker does not kill you. And in that time, after that time is over, you will get to kill him. And that's how I got over my panic attacks, by choking motherfuckers while I was scared off my balls. It's the best way to learn, goddammit. The worst part though about I got so good at it, they let me teach it. Also, they were scared of me because I was black, so I'm not gonna lie. But I like that I said I was black, like I'm not anymore. Because like, I was black, you know. Then they took it away, like they do when you hit 25 and you have insurance. But people have this tendency to be like, they're like, "Oh, well, you teach MMA. You probably want to hear a fight story, right?" Like this guy comes up to me, he's like 5'2", and he's like, "Dude, I was at this club and I was with this girl, right?" And this guy comes up to me, he bumps me, and he gives me one of these. And I'm like, "Yo, dude, what is that?" And he's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And I'm like, "Listen, that shit didn't happen, sir." And he's like, "No." He's like, "But here's what I did. I did this, and I kneed him in his kneecap, and his kneecap exploded." And I'm like, "Bullshit, sir. Here's what happened. You were not at the bar with a woman. You were at a bar with your friends. You thought, I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna hit on a lady, and I might get fucked. Chances are, none of those things happened. But you saw a girl, and she was cute, and you saw a big muscular dude, and you thought like, oh, this big muscular dude will get with this girl. It's like he bumped me, so I'll challenge him back. And instead of exploding his kneecap, which is not a thing you can do, take it from a guy who teaches people how to make people's legs break. I'll tell people that I broke his leg. Instead of what I really did, go home, cry, and masturbate. That's what he did. End of his story. Fuck that guy. Oh my god. What the fuck am I doing? I'm stoned, I guess. Just looking for a nice day. Am I good? Do I have time? Alright. Oh, fuck. So, it's weird, like, okay, when I first started working at the courthouse, there was this lady that I hated. I still hate her, that hasn't changed. But she was really terrible to me just when I first started. Because like when you're training, you're just like this puppy dog that wants to not piss on the ground. You're just like, whatever you say, lady, I love you. Please don't hurt me. And every time, just really horrible. Like I remember one time we're looking for this like warrant that we have to fill out, and I'm like, she's like, it's a 672 warrant. I just hit Control F. I hit 672, and she looks at me. I'm like, oh, there it is. And she's like, have you done this before? You don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
Like. all right, lady, I do not like you. This is where this line ends. And I figured out, like, with the MMA, like, you can't hit someone, right? Especially as a guy, and then it's a grandma that you're uppercutting, right? And, but I figured out that with my powers from the courthouse and with my powers from MMA, I would create a day that combines the two. I call it Uppercut a Bitch Day. All right? You find one bitch that you hate, and everyone's got a bitch at work they hate, right?
Yeah.
Right? You don't have anyone at your job that you hate?
But I only work with 2 people.
Oh, and they're cool?
Oh, okay, Amber, I have my other.
Yeah, you got a bitch you want to uppercut, don't lie.
We work together.
Oh, fair enough.
Same
Well,
bitch.
fair enough. All right, so she gets 2 uppercuts. That's beautiful. But here's the thing, okay, if there's 2 of you, so this will work out great. One of you can hit the uppercut, right? Beautiful shot under the chin. It hides the folds of her fat. There's no bruise for people to see, right? As her face is up, she's weak to the body. There's nothing protecting it. You hit her with the left hook to the body, right? She goes down on the ground. Your manager comes in. She's like, what's going on here? It's like, oh, I'm teaching her yoga. She's doing the upward-facing fuck face. You guys high five and live the best life ever. It's evil. Don't lie. You want to do that to a bitch you hate at your job? God damn it. If I uppercutted everyone I hated at my job, there'd be a lot of necks looking at the fucking ceiling. So, I worked in the London courthouse this time, like this week earlier, and I was they had a Valentine's Day potluck, and I got in there, and as I'm getting in there, this lady's like, hey, or she just looks over at me, and she's like, oh, look at this guy, he's a fucking stick. And I'm like, lady, I'm an Ethiopian by trade, and like we're not big people, all right? But she gets to say that to me because she's a big horrible bitch, and and I'm just a skinny black dude, right? But I'm like, what if I just walked in there and like, hey, look at this fat bitch. Look, and here's the thing. You don't want to bring up someone's weight just to be a douchebag. But afterwards, what she says is like, hey, it's also Black History Month. He's a black guy. It's like, we should take the photo now. That way we have more black people in the photo. I was like, fuck you, fat bitch. I couldn't say that because she's my boss, but it would have felt so good. Like a sweet uppercut, you know what I mean? Oh, God. Horrible people at work. Did you guys hear about Goodweeds? Goodweeds in Toronto? Goodweeds in Toronto is this place in Toronto where it's basically like a lounge. But apparently they were doing the most dastardly crimes. Yeah. They were actually giving people weed. They had to pay for it, you know, like customers. But at the same time, the police found out because Vice wrote an article about them saying they were illegally giving weed out to people. And then the cops came in and draconianly closed down the shop for a couple days and arrested the owners. And I was like, look, it's like, and because were the cops met with machine guns and artillery? No one did anything. Everyone was super cool about it. They're like, all right, well, I guess we can't get weed. And what did they do? They let people smoke a plant that makes them happy and relax. And they're like, no happiness for you. What I want to happen is I want someone to just billow, fucking, just like crop dust the police fucking departments with weed smoke. I feel like that's the best way for them to learn. They'll be sitting there like, man, how about instead of arresting people today, we just ride around with the sirens on? What do they do? And they would ruin traffic and people would be mad. But then you find out like, oh, people pumped in a bunch of weed smoke into them. Like, oh, okay, cool. Arrest them. How about that? They're doing stupid crimes. Fuck them. Anyways, my name is Doug Getachew, King Boss for short. I'll bring up the roast beef on there.
Keep a water bottle going and grab a joint as well. Keep the noise going for them. Get a everybody. You guys are a fantastic crowd. Coming in from the warms, it's nice that we have that, right? Nice we have somewhere nice warm, we get all stoned, welcome in. For word, it's just been a fire show. It's just been so damn good, and I also ate some weed, so I think I'm past joke telling, that's for sure. We have one more act before we're ringing up our headliner. He's a boys from out of town, like I'm coming into Niagara Falls, make a laugh every time. We got one more for you. Bring the energy right back up. We're very funny, man. First time to taking down the lounge, and so excited to have him here. Make noise for Doug Koning, everybody. We're all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Levi. So I'm the fat bitch that Dave works with. You remember from the story. Fuck you, Dave. So you guys know piracy's a big thing, right? Like downloading shit. Piracy's a big thing right now. It's crazy, man. Like I wonder if like the pirates these days are gonna be looked back on as cool as the pirates from like 200 years ago. Because the pirates that are like drinking rum on the open sea, capturing ships. The pirates these days are drinking Mountain Dew Code Red in their mom's basements, having asthma attacks. It's not as cool, right? It's not near as cool. But it's crazy how much jail time you get for this shit. Like you get more jail time for downloading a Michael Jackson song than killing Michael Jackson. That's fucked, right? So like imagine there's some prison somewhere, like they're all around like a tire fire or something. I don't know how prison works. And like talk to each other like, what are you in here for? One guy's like, murder. And another guy there's like, armed robbery and assault. And they turns like this 14-year-old autistic looking fuck. What are you in here for? It's like downloading season 6 of Boy Meets World. And I was like, oh shit, it's the season where Sean's dad dies. Spoiler alert, it's 1998. I got caught up. You probably can't tell by looking at me, so you can't see the Star of David on my arm, and you can't see my prison number tattoo, but I actually used to work at Walmart. And it's called Walshwitz, I found it fitting. And I spent a lot of time in the bathroom, you know, pooping and crying, because you got Walshwitz. That was good. So like there was this one time I was leaving the handicap stall. I like that stall for my yoga, you know, space. And I leave the stall, and there's just some lady changing her baby. Like I look at her, she looks at me, just kind of smile at her. I go to wash my hands, and then some guy comes out of the stalls beside me. She looks at him, and then looks at the urinals on the wall. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm in the wrong washroom." And I'm like, oh, "Silly goose, whatever." I'm gonna walk out of the bathroom. And I started to think like, she looked right at my face. Or she looked at me right in my peepers, and still didn't know she was in the men's washroom. Right in my face, like, oh, fat lesbians have to poop too. So you change a baby. I actually work at roadside assistance now, which is fucking horrible. It's a call center. And I talk to Americans all day, and they're the fucking dumbest. Like I had this one lady, I was like, yeah, can I get your first and last name? And she's like, yeah, Yolanda Kenesha Smith. I'm like, for fuck's sake, can you spell that for me? She's like, S-M. I'm like, not that one. Why would it be that name? Fuck that lady. Another time, I was like talking to this other lady. Her name was Portia. I was like, oh, what kind of car do you drive? And she's like, a Honda. I'm like, you did not live up to your parents' expectations. You failed horribly. And there's this one time I was just driving down the road, and I saw like this like sign for a deer crossing. I was like, oh, it makes sense. A deer crossing here, Majestic. And like we kept driving, there was like a sign for like a snowmobile crossing. I was like, oh, Majestic, whatever, crossing, wild snowmobiles and shit. And then like the next time we saw was like for horse carriages. And I just imagine if I ever got a call for like roadside assistance in that situation, like someone just like calls in like, yeah, I just ran my Honda Civic into a Mustang. And I was like, oh, what year was the Mustang? Said, oh, just a second. How old's the horse? So you guys remember like the math problems that are in textbooks when you're a little kid? They have nothing to do with your real life. They'd be like, Timmy has 16 apples. He gave 3 to the black kid and 2 to the Hispanic. How racist is Timmy? Or whatever it goes. Oh, maybe not. But I wish those problems had something to do with like more with like my life, my struggle, my comp, if you will. You know? Like on a problem, it's like Doug was on the 6th floor of his apartment building. The recycling bins are on the 1st floor. Doug has 15 pizza boxes he needs to get rid of. How many trips does Doug take in the elevator? If you've seen anyone look like a fat slob. It's a trick question because the answer is Doug should take the stairs. So might lose some fucking weight. That's the problem there. Fill it in. PQAO. I fucking hate my elevator though. Every time. Like it'll like open on my floor. And like there are like 3 skinny people, and simultaneously all of them will look at the weight capacity for the elevator. And then like 600 pounds? What are you looking at? Eyes at 10 and 2. Stare forwards. Fuck you guys. I grew up in a complex, and that was great. If you grew up in a complex, it's probably because your parents were simple, just the dumbest. And a lot of stupid shit happened when I lived there. Like This one time, there's this kid, we were like 6 years old, there's this one kid running around without a shirt on, and he fell on his chest, and he scraped his nipple right off. Scraped his nipple off. The nipple does not grow back. There's not a thing that grows back. So there's just like 4 of us little kids looking for this guy's nipple on the road. One of us very upset because we just scraped off our nipple. It was fucked. I don't recommend it. But a lot of stupid shit happened. I remember my mom used to have this really racist joke she used to love to do. She would get like a little container of water, and she'd get like some pepper. She'd be like, oh, some black kids came to swim, and she'd put some pepper in there. And then she'd grab some salt and be like, oh, some white kids joined in. And then she'd grab some like vegetable oil, and she'd be like, and then a packy, which was her term for everything else. And she would like take this and drop it in there. I don't know if you guys know what happens, but it makes everything else spread out to the side to, you know, make you assume that everyone wants to get away from the packy. And he was looking at us, she's like, did you just use science to be racist? This was not what Isaac Newton died for, you know? You're sure Albert Einstein's like spinning in his grave like a Beyblade right now. Like, this is not good shit. Good shit. So I went to a funeral recently, like a visitation, and when I got back to work, my one friend was like, oh, how was it? I was like, sad? Like, I don't know what you expect me to say. I didn't say I went to a theme park. I was like, oh, so much fun, I got back in line. Oh, it was the greatest. Like, I didn't say I was going to a movie premiere. Like, oh yeah, I went and saw it 3 times that night. It was just the funnest. But funerals are fucked. I remember when I was a little kid, when my grandma died, my one crazy fucking aunt didn't go. But she went and talked to my mom at work. We both worked at Walmart. And she was like, oh yeah, Doug did a good job reading the 23rd fast. What are the things in the Bible? Psalms, whatever. Psalms, whatever. So like, oh, did a good job reading that. And she's like, oh, how did you know? She's like, oh, my husband taped it for me. Like it was the football game she was missing or something. He taped the fucking funeral. That's fucked. That's fucked. Just imagine, like, they could do something cool, like maybe have like a certain director do it. You know, like J.J. Abrams comes in, there's like a bunch of lens flares in it. And like fucking someone like Tim Burton directs it. Johnny Depp plays my grandma. That'd be fun. Maybe M. Night Shyamalan directs it. Turns out my grandma lives for another 15 years after the funeral. That'd be pretty fucking nuts. So I bought condoms for the first time recently. That was fun. It was a really conflicting experience, though, you know? So it was like the first time I ever bought something that was one size fits all, and it was way too big for me. It was weird. Me and my penis, we kind of have like a strained relationship. Like I like my penis, but it's like me and my penis have the same relationship that Tim, the Tool Man Taylor, and what's his neighbor's name? Wilson had. Like because like I really like him. I've only ever seen the top of his head. You know. All right. Well, that's our time, guys. You guys have been great. Give your host, Levi.
Doug Koning, everybody. Okay. Let's take a moment there because it's going to be headliner time very, very, very soon. It's been a great night. I'm so glad that the lounge just keeps helping us out. These shows have been running for, I don't know, months that I can't count right now. But show 67. Welcome in, guys. You're just in time to close out the show. I was also thanking the lounge for this green chair. In new edition. If anybody feels like there's an intense story that you just need to level out with the crowd, got a green chair for it now on stage. Feel free to use it. One more time for host and all the comics on the show, Mr. Jordan Scherer, there's Dave Getachew, Doug Koning, Phil Cal, all those actmen, all those funny people. Thank you so much. And the host, Mayce Galoni, closing actor. This is headliner time, guys. Already. So glad you stuck through it. I'm in your host, Levi, man. Bring up the band, closing out the show. This is Mayce Galoni, everybody. Make some noise for him.
Thank you, guys. First of all, Levi, let's give it up for Levi. How's it going? Good. This is awesome. My name is Mayce. I found something out weird recently. My parents told me that before they picked the name Mayce, they were going to name me Blade. Yeah, I think they were expecting to raise a very different kind of person. They could not have been picturing this when they were deciding which weapon to name me after. They must have thought I was going to get my dad's muscles and my mom's temper. Instead, I just got my dad's allergies and my mother's hips. So. But Matt, how is that your only two ideas for a baby name? Mayce and Blade? What are you picking out of the big book of gangbanger baby names? Mayce is the better one, but that is still too tough. I don't live up. I'm the only guy named Mayce that should probably also be carrying some. So slow burn on that as people imagine me getting sexually assaulted. But Blade, we agree that's the worst baby name. That's not something you name a baby. That's when you get nicknames after you shank a prison guard or something. You know? Like if I was named Blade, my nickname would just end up being something mundane. I'd have to be like, yeah, the name's Blade. But everyone calls me Daryl. I love how much fun you two are having. We didn't match on Tinder. Damn. I am not tough, and I blame my parents because they breastfed me until I was 5 years old. Not they. My mom did. I probably would be a lot tougher if my dad made me do it. Like, come on, you gotta want it. But 5 years, that is way too old, right? You think somebody would have spoken up to my mom at some point, like, hey, Maureen, maybe you should cut him off. He's asking for it in full sentences by now. That's a good time to cut the umbilical cord, I think. You know how old that is? That is so old that I knew it was weird right after I stopped. Think about that. A 5-year-old should not be able to experience regret like that. No 5-year-old should ever have to think, shit, I gotta get my life together. What is happening? But the worst part is that I have 2 older sisters, and they'll make fun of me for it. Which that's a dick move, if you think about it, because they were there when it was happening. They didn't say shit then. But now, they'll bring it up, and the last time they did this, we were all eating dinner, and my sister mentioned how it'll take her like 5 years to finish university or something. And I was like, oh, that's a long time. She's like, it took you longer to breastfeed. That's a rude thing to bring up when my mom is sitting right beside me. Things get really awkward for us. We made eye contact at one point, unfortunately. And I swear to God, in that moment that our pupils met, my mom just says this. She goes, well, you wanted it. That is not how breastfeeding works. Right? You've got to cut your kid off. Nobody breastfeeds their baby until their baby looks up at them like, all right, Mom, I think we're good. Here. Hey, you know what? Maybe go to the kitchen and cook something for once. Open a fucking jar, lady. You wanted it. That's what she said. You know who else uses that excuse? Rapists. Was I asking for it in my tight footy pajamas too? I am so glad you came with me for the rates and breastfeeding jokes. Good. You guys are cool. I did something just yesterday that I'm really proud of. I finally got myself to do. I went down to the gym near my house, and I canceled my gym membership. And I've been waiting to do that. I've been paying them for me to be a piece of garbage for the last couple months. So I finally put an end to that. I hate the gym. I don't get why they put mirrors all around the place. I don't want to be able to see myself working out. I look pathetic. It doesn't look like I'm exercising. It looks like I'm trapped in the machine and can't get out. It's usually just what happens. And I've tried to get healthy at different points in my life, and it sucks because my friends that are into fitness are way too into it. You know, they'll say things like, "Oh, let's get jacked. Let's get jacked." That's way too intense. Can I get jilled? I'd try that first. Stretch, balance my hormones. You know. My sister told me this one time. She's like, "You should try yoga. It'll help you work on your breathing." Ah, great. I didn't know that's how out of shape I seemed. Just breathing seems like a good workout for me. Put down the dumbbell. Just try oxygen first. That's great. Apparently, fat shaming is a big issue nowadays. Have you guys heard about fat shaming? Who's fat shaming? Just Doug. I don't get why that is happening. Who would shame fat people? Fat people are just fun to hang out. We should be shaming fit people. They're the annoying ones. Right? Who would you rather hang out with? Someone who's jolly and knows about good restaurants, or someone that wants to tell you what kind of sprouts they're eating and wants to, tell tell you things that you already know, like oh, you shouldn't be eating that. Oh, really? This Big Mac isn't packed with nutrients? No. I thought when I was sweating on the toilet the next day that was a detox or something. We should be fit shaming. That's my movement. I just don't know how to do it. I guess just go to the park and throw Timbits at joggers. You are the greatest audience member in the world. I just want you to come with me to every show. I did read about one incident of fat shaming that happened. It was some wrote about it somewhere, and it was this happened at an Old Navy. And there was this woman buying a shirt. She was a bigger woman, and there was a teenager there that made fun of her for how big the shirt was, and that's rude, right? Nobody has the right to make her feel bad about the size of her clothing. Except, I mean, maybe the Chinese kid that has to sew all that extra fabric together. He might have a few grievances about that. That joke is a confusing one. It's kind of a liberal dilemma. We're like, wait, what do we care more about, fat people or child slaves? I don't know, man. I'm checking Jezebel right now. Here's the thing. There is a lot of pressure for women to look a certain way, but I think a lot of that pressure comes from other women. Right? Like, I've read an article that was titled "The 20 Most Beautiful Women of 2015," and I guarantee a woman wrote that article because there was not one porn star on the list. If a guy wrote that article, no guy is choosing Anne Hathaway over Christy Mack. You know, Anne Hathaway is beautiful, but I'm not watching Princess Diaries on my laptop before bed. Christy Mack would replace anyone on that list, even after her title match with War Machine. And also, there's a lot of talk about plus size models, and a lot of people are praising them very strongly. I don't know if I agree with that. And this is a weird topic. I'm not saying they're not beautiful. Trust me, I've been punching BBW into Google since I was 14. All right, but I'm just saying they're not really heroes. I mean, just for being a model, they're pretty useless human beings, right? What do? You stand in front of a camera and look pretty? How about a plus-size scientist, someone with an appetite and their own ideas? That's a good role model, I think. So I don't know. Gender is a I don't know. It's a big issue nowadays. There's a lot of talk about it. I've been trying to learn about feminism. Like I read an article that said that Disney movies were sexist. Have you heard? They said that Disney movies are sexist because 70% of the lines are spoken by men. That's true, but it's kind of like, yeah, but most of those lines are spoken by shellfish and candlesticks. Is that really a big issue? It's a fantasy. How about we make a chart about how much women talk in real life, and I feel like guys would be lucky to hit 30% of that. There's also something that I read about called the pink tax. Have you guys heard about this? This is another issue that feminists are taking on. And basically the pink tax is that women pay more for things like shampoo and razor blades that are female-oriented than men pay for the ones that are male-oriented. And I watched this video, but I didn't understand it because the feminist was like, this is sexist, we shouldn't be paying more, these are the same products. Well, if they're the same products, just buy the men's version. Nobody's stopping you at the cash register. Like, hey lady, where the fuck do you think you're going with that Gillette? That's the best a man can get, alright? You put that back on the shelf or you pull out a scrote, alright? I just don't think that that's a sexism thing. Like, maybe it's wrong, but it's not sexism. I think it's just economics, because companies want to charge as much as they can. But they can get away with charging women more, I think, because guys are dumber. We don't really care about the quality. You know, if you try to charge us too much for shampoo, we'll switch to dish soap, you know? We'll walk into the store with bottles of palm olives and think it's a great idea. Like, yeah, you know what, dude, I save money and I can do my dishes in the shower. There is one, not just one, but there is one feminist issue that I do strongly support, and that's that they should get rid of the tax for tampons. Do you guys know about this? The luxury tax? There's a luxury tax on tampons. As if bleeding out of your genitals is living the high life all of a sudden. Like, oh, you hear Karen got her period? What is she, in the 1%? That's ridiculous. It's not a luxury. You never get in a limousine. There's just a bottle of champagne on one side and a bucket of tampons on the other. Well, these are super absorbent. This is fancy. Thanks, Dave. That's That's unfair. I think they don't have the option to not buy tampons. It's not a luxury if you can't choose. I mean, I guess they can choose to not buy it, but then they got to buy new Lululemons all the time, and that's there's no burden on the tax system to have your period. If anything, there's a burden to not have your period. Like women should get money every time you have to buy tampons, because that's just another month you didn't pop out another freeloading flesh potato. Thanks. One minute applause. I also think it's good that people are talking about transgendered issues. Like I have a lot of sympathy for transgender people, because I also know how it feels to look in the mirror and think, I wish I looked like a man. But there are people who are talking about transgendered issues, and you know that there are some teenagers that are transitioning now. You know that? That's a little crazy, right? Like, it's good that they have the freedom to, and they should have all the support, but maybe you don't want to make that decision right then. Teenagers do a lot of stuff that they regret later. You know, they get dreadlocks and tattoos and pregnant. Like, you want to add a new vagina to that list? Have to walk into the doctor's office like, hey, doc, can we pop this thing back out? Turns out that was just a phase I was going through. Listening to a lot of Tegan and Sarah at the time. Spotify fucked me up on nights. And there are also transgendered politicians now. Have you heard about that? I have a lot of respect for them, because that's got to be a tough job. You can never accuse your opponent of flip-flopping on anything. To just be like, really? I'm inconsistent? You have tits and a goatee. So you'd have to own it. Your slogan would have to be transitioning to a better Ohio. I just moved out on my own for the first time. Thank you. I'm not doing a good job with it. I'm not a good adult at all. I have the only cups I have in my place are novelty medieval times cups. It really adds a bit of class to my sad dinners. But I don't eat well. That's the worst thing, is that now I'm in charge of buying my own groceries, and I eat a lot of TV dinners. That I would say is the most embarrassing name for a product. It's so judgmental, TV dinner, because it has nothing intrinsically to do with television. They just assume if you eat a lot of it, you probably don't have a lot else going on in your life. They can name it anything they want. They can call it on-the-go dinner, but they know you have nowhere to be. Just you and Netflix. That's all you got. And I also noticed on the end of the instructions on the TV dinner, the last instruction is, let's stand 2 minutes before serving. Serving? I don't know if that's the right word. It's a little lofty for what's happening with a TV dinner. You need two people there, one to serve it and one to eat it. If you were eating a TV dinner, you have nobody in your life in general, let alone to dine with, you know? I live in Hamilton, and I moved into an apartment that's kind of on the cusp of like a shitty neighborhood in Hamilton. And I was coming home the other night, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And I come around, I get to near my block, and there's a woman on the street corner by herself. And are we on the same page with this? It's a prostitute. So it's a hooker, and I was excited. It was the first time I saw like a hooker in the flesh, and it was like right by my apartment, and I was like looking, and then she looked over and made eye contact with me, and I panicked and turned back like this, and then I went into my parking spot. But the way you go into my parking spot, you kind of got to turn down this alley, and I think to her it looked like I was pulling over at, like, oh, there we go, that's great, that's just what I was looking for, and so I was worried that she was coming up to my car, and so I was waiting in my car before I went up into my apartment, and finally, about a minute went by, nothing came around, so I was like, oh, good. I turned to grab my books in my passenger seat, and then I turn around, and she's just right there at the window. Just, like, popped up like a zombie movie, except she's only dead on the inside. And she just knocks on the glass, and so I, like, roll it down, like, just this much. Like, I don't think herpes can get through that. All right. And she goes, hey, my name is Kim. I was wondering if you wanted to go on a date. I was like, I don't know if we can get a reservation at this hour, Kim. Maybe next time. Like, I just tried to, like, put her down easy, you know. And she goes, yeah, I understand. Don't worry. I can't really compete with the younger girls. Like, that's not the issue here, Kim. This isn't an ageism thing. This is an STDism thing. I wasn't in the market shopping around. Like, too old. No. So I was like, but I didn't want to say all that to her because I don't want to, like, put her down. So I just ended up being like, no, I'm sure you'll do great. Like I'm their life coach all of a sudden. I'm the Tony Robbins of prostitutes suddenly. So I ended up she's like, can I have some money? And so I gave her some money, and then she walked away, and then I waited, and I got in my car. And I felt even more bad about that, like, because prostitution is offering to trade sex for money, and I'm like, ooh, you can have the money, but keep the sex. That feels more insulting to me, you know? I feel so bad about that. I hope she doesn't turn up again, because I will buckle. I'll let her in. I'll turn her into my, not to fuck her, just so she can serve me TV dinners. I use a hand cream a lot, like, and I actually use it on my hands. By the way, like it's just a better way to live. My skin gets dry and it's soft, and it's good. Anybody else here use hand cream? Any other guys? Only girls. No guys. There we go. A thing I hate about it though is when my friends come over and they see the bottle of hand cream, they always just assume it's masturbatory purposes. Nobody thinks, oh, he's going through winter dryness. They're like, oh, he's going through a winter dry spell. This is sad. No women. There's no equivalent to that for women. Nobody goes into a woman's apartment and sees like a cucumber on the counter, like, oh, somebody's horny. What's the matter, Sheila? Can you get some dick? Things are sad for you. I actually just found out something though. Sad is that the hand cream that I've been using has lavender oil in it, and apparently lavender oil increases the level of estrogen in your bloodstream. Yeah, so all those times my friends were like, oh, you use hand cream, what are you, a woman? And the answer is no, not yet. That's great. It will be soon enough. At least now I know I got so sensitive when they brought it up. But my nipples are so tender. But I heard this the other day too. On the news, they were talking about ISIS, and they said that most of the recruits to ISIS are young men with no purpose. Have you heard that? Young men with no purpose. That was scary to hear, because I'm a 21-year-old university dropout with a fast food addiction. I am a young man with no purpose. I do nothing. I wake up every day and just contemplate how useless I am to society. I take baths and just eat Subway at the same time, and it's very sad. It's a very sad existence, and I don't go blow up a bus about it. I just put on Pornhub and order Chinese food, you know? But maybe the day will come when Pornhub is down, Golden Walk is closed, and I'm like, well, let's see what the Korean's all about. Today's the day. I don't know. I'm scared of it. I do think maybe the key to fighting ISIS is liberate the women. I think that's probably a good idea, you know, because it's ideological, and nothing can make a man abandon his beliefs and personality like a woman can. They can make it happen like that, you know? Like, for instance, when I was 19, I was anti-drugs, anti-drinking, and anti-partying. That's who I was. And then I met the girl that became my first girlfriend, and she was into all that stuff. So I was at a bar every night. I just sold out my whole personality. I was trying to get into it. Like, what is this, Little John? This is good. I like this. Or I thought people weren't taking advantage of the air horn musically enough. This is good. The next day I'd be in like a new age hippie store. She's handing me crystals. I'm like, yeah, I can feel the energy. No, this is good. This is for the sports. It's a good one. So that's what they need. They just need Tinder, I think. Just trade in the turban for a man bun like that. I don't want making jokes with that. I don't want to like contribute to Islamophobia, because that's weird. It's weird to me that there are people that are like, there's a lot of people with the refugees coming over that are like anti-Muslim. Although I will say that like Islamophobia, just if you look at the word, is kind of a good idea, to be scared of the doctrine of Islam, not the people, just the doctrine. It just for a religion, it's kind of scary, right? Like, all right, let me put it this way. Islam is a religion that requires men to grow a beard. If ISIS takes over, I'm fucked. What you're looking at is a month of growth right here. So if they take over, I'd be rubbing Rogaine on my face every night, and shaving my Italian taint and gluing that on, and just, they'd still see me and be like, you shaved. I'd be like, trust me, I didn't. I'm trying my best. The best I could hope is they think I'm a woman, and they just want to chop off my clitoris. And all I could hope is they pull down my pants and go, oh, somebody already did it. I got it. So. I do think, am I wrong though? Most religions are scary. If you look at the doctrines themselves, there's, you know, like nobody, right? Like nobody, if you had a kid and it came up to you, it's like, what's the difference between right and wrong, mommy? You're not going to hand it the Quran. Like, there you go. That'll be good. I'd rather hand it the Clockwork Orange and hope it figures it out. I don't know. It's a thing. It's weird to me about the Bible and all the religious books is that they say it's the Word of God, but then you got to ignore a bunch of stuff, like the chopping off body parts. It's not really the Word of God if you got to ignore all that stuff, right? The KKK is a great organization if all you do is show up to the barbecues. Right? Like, oh, you can make a great hot dog, Dwayne. Thanks a lot for having me. What's the hoods for? You guys into cosplay? Because then if you got to ignore all that stuff, but you still think it's the Word of God, then the best you're telling me is that God is like all of our racist grandparents. Just like, oh, we love them, but don't bring up slaves or women, because he will get started. And I'm a single man. Yeah, all right, that's appropriate. That's fair. You guys are like, yeah, obviously, you're not reeling in pussy, loving. Oh God, I think I broke her. That's like, wait a second, I thought that was him the whole time. Bozo's career is not working. Oh God, oh God. But I am single, and I've been going on dates a bit, because I just got out of a 2-year relationship a couple months ago. So I'm going on dates. I went on one recently. We were having coffee, and we were talking, and at one point the girl mentioned that when she was younger, they tested her for a learning disability, and then she just moved on with the conversation without mentioning the results at all. That's a pretty important part. You got to bring that up, because now I'm just sitting across from you trying to make that diagnosis myself. Like, well, she agreed to go out with me. That's not a good start. Plus, she is not good with colors. Her shirt does not match her helmet. So, I am on Tinder, and when I got Tinder at first, I don't know if you have ever had it or tried it at some point, the default setting for the distance, the radius, is 80 kilometers. And I actually saw that when I first got it and scoffed. It's like, come on, I think I can do better than that, Tinder. I think I can find some woman in the city limits that wants to fuck me, at least. Now I've had it for a few months. It is maxed out. I'm like matching up with girls in Uruguay. Well, I always wanted to travel. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? But have you guys tried it at all? Yeah, and you bailed, got out of it. It does make it does make sense why you bail. I think it's weird that girls would, sign up for online dating at all. Because anytime you're on the internet, there are guys trying to fuck you, right? Like you log onto Facebook or Twitter, or there's some guy trying to learn how to crochet just to get some pussy on Pinterest. There's probably at least 2 of them. They're probably gonna end up catfishing each other. Just show up like, what? You're not Diane, but fuck, that's a good cross stitch, bro. But I do see this a lot on Tinder. In a girl's profile, she'll put. I see this, a lot of girls do this. It'll say like, no hookups, or just here to meet friends. Maybe you're in the wrong place then. Right? It's Tinder. Tinder, that's like sitting on the other side of a glory hole hoping somebody hands you an eclair through it. And then some trucker puts his dick through it, and you're like, whoa, I don't think so, pervert. I'm just here to meet friends. All right, you guys have been so much fun. Thank you so much for having me and all the comments.
Keep that noise going. Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. House was wonderful. We're going to bring lights back up and grab some munchies. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Give me one more out. Make some noise for Earl Comics and yourself. Thank you so much. See you next week with a brand new lineup of funny people. Good night, everybody.
Yes.
That was great.
So funny.